For Pip Fitzamobi, reality is fracturing. Her sensory perception has warped to the point where normal, everyday sounds trigger violent hallucinations. The sharp clack of a front door shutting registers in her brain as the blinding blast of a gunshot. These visual intrusions stalk her everywhere. When she shakes hands at a formal meeting, she looks down and sees the phantom blood of a dead friend coating her palms. She stares at a headless, dead pigeon on her driveway and hallucinates its glassy, lifeless eyes staring right back at her. Pip spent her teenage years chasing Fairview's monsters, eventually becoming a target of the very violence she tried to document. Her body survived those investigations, but her nervous system was left permanently rewired for a combat zone. Her own mind has become an inescapable holding cell. When ordinary stimuli are constantly processed as mortal threats, basic survival turns into an exhausting daily battle. This internal panic immediately collides with a severe external threat. Max Hastings, a serial rapist who faced trial and walked free, is now suing Pip for defamation. He is targeting a social media post where she publicly and accurately called out his guilt. Inside a sterile mediation room, Max's lawyer, Christopher Epps, lays out a clinical set of demands. To drop the lawsuit, Pip must pay $7,000 in damages, issue a formal public apology, and entirely retract her statement, effectively lying to say her audio evidence against Max was doctored. The independent mediator, Hassan Bashir, treats this like a standard corporate dispute. He pushes for an agreeable compromise, entirely blind to the traumatic history sitting right across the table from him. Max knows exactly how to exploit this blindness. He sits directly opposite Pip, maintaining steady eye contact while aggressively snapping open the rubber spout of his plastic water bottle and taking loud sips. It is a calculated, silent microaggression designed to assert his dominance in the room. Pip watches the mediator nod at Max's lawyer, realizing the legal rules only provide her abuser with a more polite way to harass her. If the system treats his predatory behavior and her survival as equal claims, it can never offer her actual protection. Pip launches her response with a feigned surrender. She calls Christopher Epps late on a Saturday night, telling the lawyer she's exhausted and ready to accept the settlement terms in their entirety. The surrender is a complete fabrication. The actual goal is to trigger a highly specific chain of communication. By handing Epps this massive legal win out of hours, she guarantees he will pick up his phone and immediately call Max to deliver the good news. That phone call is the linchpin of the entire frame-up. When Max receives the call, his phone connects to the nearest local network tower. But Max isn't at home holding his phone. Pip has already murdered a man named Jason Bell. By controlling the room's temperature and the bleeding of the body, she artificially manipulated Jason's forensic time of death. That network ping from Max's phone now places him squarely at the crime scene, perfectly inside that manufactured window. Setting this trap required extensive covert preparation. Pip used cash to purchase 6 prepaid burner phones from different stores, keeping them stashed inside a cardboard false-bottom drawer under her desk to coordinate her movements entirely off the grid. To get Max's phone to the crime scene, she had to physically infiltrate the Hastings property. After blinding their external security cameras with duct tape, Pip snuck into the house while Max was distracted by a video game, swiping his smartphone and his car keys right off a hallway table. She takes the exact legal threat Max used to corner her and twists it into a weapon. The defamation lawsuit becomes the bait that establishes an incontrovertible digital footprint, framing him for a murder he didn't commit. But a digital footprint means nothing without physical evidence to back it up. Pip has to manually drag Jason Bell's dead weight out of a storage room and across the rough gravel, straining her muscles to reposition the body for the police to find. She wears Max's stolen sneakers while she does it. Every step she takes stamps his distinct tread pattern into the mud, planting undeniable physical proof that he was walking around the body. Then comes the grueling erasure of her own presence. Using industrial bleach, she wipes down every metal shelf, plastic vat, tool, and door handle she might have brushed against, scrubbing away any stray fingerprint or DNA profile. Finally, she destroys the tools of the cover-up. Back home, she systematically cuts her latex gloves, her clothing, and the duct tape into tiny 2-inch squares to ensure no microscopic fibers can ever tie her to the violence. Pip spent her entire amateur detective career learning how criminals leave clues behind. Here, she weaponizes that exact knowledge in reverse, meticulously constructing a flawless synthetic truth for the police to document. The trap works. Detective Hawkins easily destroys Max's fabricated alibi using the cell tower data. Max is pulled out of a police cruiser in handcuffs, formally charged with Jason Bell's murder. Yet this external victory offers no real relief. Pip is constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. Her nervous system remains locked in a state of high alert, terrified that a single overlooked detail will bring the authorities straight to her door. To protect the people she loves, she actively isolates herself. She even forces her boyfriend Ravi to memorize a strict contingency script. If the trial goes wrong, he is instructed to tell the police that Pip forced him to lie under extreme duress. She cuts herself off, acting as the sole lightning rod for any future fallout. Pip engineered the ultimate architectural defense, successfully outmaneuvering an abuser who thought he was untouchable. But the cost of keeping him in a physical cage is that Pip must remain forever locked inside her own psychological one.